Hey friends, happy Saturday, the 9th of April. That's kind of the last regular day, the regular Lenten day before Holy Week starts with Palm Sunday. I'm Father Bill, one of the parish priests at Holy Spirit Catholic Community in Rock Springs, Wyoming. It's nice to just take a moment and to pray with you using technology. I'll give you a reflection on the readings. They're linked over on the sidebar, and read them prayerfully and then spend some time with God. Just that reminder, you may want to go to the Sacrament of Reconciliation today, 2 to 3:30 over at the SCM Parish Center, 624 Bridger, an incredible opportunity to approach and ask the Lord for forgiveness and to hear especially, forgiveness proclaimed in the words of the church. So, a reading from John's Gospel. Who's that first reading? Ezekiel. And it's a humdinger of a first reading too. The gospel, I think what especially I'm resonating with is, Caiaphas is one of those who allows Jesus to be killed. He is the high priest. He could stop the persecution of Jesus. He could lead the people in a different direction. And you just think about Pilate and that image of washing his hands or asking what is truth. Caiaphas is one who allows Jesus to be killed. But here we're told that because he was high priest, he actually prophesies in a way that he's not expecting, that Jesus was to die not only for the nation, but also to gather into one the dispersed children of God. And I don't know, to just sit in that spiritual, mystical place where even the people that we judge to be against us, our enemies, those who don't like us, maybe we're being actively persecuted as well, but to just root ourselves in that place that God is bringing all of it into one in Jesus. And that doesn't mean that we're going to be doormats or that we don't stand up for our own dignity or value or anything like that. But if God can allow all of the violence and the evil and the heartache of the crucifixion to usher in the resurrection, what's God doing right now? Because that spiritual energy that was unleashed in the passion of Jesus Christ, it's still present in our world. The Holy Spirit is still bringing all of the pain, the violence, and the suffering of this world into its culmination in new life in God. Maybe we just root ourselves in that place of trust, the promise of God. And speaking of the promises of God, like I said, that first reading, Ezekiel, is a humdinger. It speaks of some of the deepest dreams and desires in the Old Testament. It's a promise of God. And remember, Ezekiel was a prophet of disruption. He was himself living in exile in Babylon after painful defeat and destruction and humiliation and degradation of the people. And so it's in a place of collective trauma and disruption and loss that Ezekiel is able to say these words of incredible hope, right? That God is going to make them one nation. So there's a prayer and a trust in unity, that God's going to take away their idols and their abominations, so there will be holiness of the people. My servant David will be their prince over them, their leader. And remember, they had seen the line of David extinguished, and they aren't going to see it for hundreds of years. And this is a heck of a prophecy of Ezekiel. But David will lead them, the house of David, so they'll have good, solid, chosen leadership from God. They'll live on the land. And remember, they're not on the land. They are strangers, foreigners, immigrants, refugees with no rights in Babylon. And so they'll live on the land. They'll have safety, security, protection, and the ability to be cared for and nourished. And it's not just going to be their generation, but their children and their children's children. And then I will make a covenant of peace. So instead of having to defend themselves and fight and experience the pain of warfare, it will be peace in their midst. A wonderful place to just root ourselves in our own deep desires. And whatever that pain is that's in our heart, to be with Ezekiel, the Old Testament prophet, and to know that God, even in the midst of disruption, violence, pain, insecurity, difficulties, that God is bringing it all into one. All right, friends, if you get regular work weeks or if you get a weekend, pray that you get some time for some rest, some recreation in these days. Let's be praying for folks that are having a hard time. Now, read those readings, spend some time reflecting with God with the screen off. God bless you.